Don't jump. There's a dog jumping on me. Storm's drinking because their mother, Sadie, figured out how to use her paw and break the ice. Others are drinking. Storm turned the bucket over. The first bucket she came to on the side. Thought they were going off that way. She's really trying things over. Chart's pretty excited. The sister, of course, is always excited. Oh. There's little remaining snow. It's melted pretty fast today. There's snow in the shade here on WP. That's good. But the red berries are just about all gone. It's not from the freeze, it's from the approach of the front. Thunderstorms and rain and cold wind and the robins and the cardinals. Cedar waxwings work these honeysuckle, China honeysuckle berries over. So some of those bushes that look totally red, totally bare today. This one's actually got more than most still remaining. The weeks that will go, you can see a lot of berries on the hackberry tree still, but the waxwings and the robins and cardinals, everybody who's come along wants some of that, so they're about totally gone, I guess. Off the habitat tree. Just at the southwest corner of our property, and where the World Peace Wetland Prairie bends around. Soccer, you're just wild today. Bumper, there's a little apple left. She had a bunch of treats, but she ate them in a hurry today because it's so cold. She wants some extra calories to make up for what she didn't get last night. And she's got sunshine right now, and she's enjoying that. And it was 17 degrees this morning on December 1st, 2006. Pretty cold morning. She had a lot of cover, of course, but it's not quite as good as it might be in some burrow she would dig someplace. She didn't have to dig a burrow. She's got a burrow under that shelf in her cage. Not many cottontails live to be 7 or 8 years old like she has. She's a beauty. Very fortunate to have been rescued after a mower had killed some of her siblings up at the Morning News, Northwest Arkansas, on the old road in Springdale. There were a lot of rabbits on that property, but mowing and the addition of another building for the press reduce their habitat. There's a subdivision just across the fence, and they clear all the brush out, don't let any grass grow, so the bunnies don't use that area much anymore. So Thumper found a home with lots of fruit and vegetable treats and plenty of greens tossed in, as well as the alfalfa. pellets. Really nice rabbit. It's interesting how she grabbed a little carrot and ate it so fast. Now there's a pear lying there that put in there at the same moment. But the carrot was her first choice, and it's just about all gone. Just to drop part of it there. Yeah, it's under there. She's eating it fast. She'll get to the pear in a while. this much. There's our gas line. There she is. Gonna test the gas line. What'd you say? B. Yeah. Here's one of our world peace wetland prairie squirrels sitting right up there. Just whoops. There he goes. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. Over on the sunny side here. It's a nice day. Temperatures up in the 40s today. Being highs in the 20s for 2-3 days. See if there's any ice left in the flow area. Oh yeah. Frosty weather's knocking down the vines and so forth. You can see the honeysuckle separate from the little trees out here a little better. She smells it nicely. Nice wet land right there. It's soft. This is a pawpaw. Not sure this is where it wants to be, but got to a point where Jennifer felt like she had to get it in the ground because the big freeze was coming, so it was happy to have its roots in the ground. And I'm sure its roots are down in some water there. We'll see how the pawpaw likes that. We know the button bush, such as those, will love having their feet in the water. It's better to have the brush piles than not, I guess, for cover, but it's certainly like a war zone. Lauren's part has left more standing bushes. And right at this moment I can't see the buckbrush. Where is it? Here's one. Just walking right by it, but I'm worried about the other one. And now I can see it. It's in the shade for the moment. And that's why I couldn't see it. So small. Close to this central thicket and you start hearing birds on the ground. And you start seeing them, see their shadows when they fly up. So much noise with the factory over to the southwest and slightly to the northeast. The bulldozer running out there, moving dirt in the street area. That appears to be possible buckbrush right there. There's a rose and rose hips. You know. All the birds are loving it in that thicket. Yeah. It's a combination of cedars and other things in there. Here's buckbrush out in here too. See the way the berries hang and the fact that they're still there. The birds haven't eaten them, and we're wondering if they're gonna believe they wait till they turn really dark, so they're utilized later in the year. See rose hips on a rose vine back there. Hope we can protect those. Those are working right off the east of the World Peace Wetland Prairie. And they're going to build a 3-story building we're going to be seeing up there. Well, the frost and snowy weathers helped us gain access to the central flow area here without tearing out the plants that are growing, and gives us a chance to see what is in here. A while ago we were standing outside this and there were just so many wonderful birds in here using it. You got them frightened out of here for the time being. Back there I've just marked the buckbrush, maybe under the yellow flag back this way by that three or four pronged tree there. You can see some red berries. That's buckbrush, and you've got a couple of plastic red plastic markers on them. Try to protect those, since they're something that we would be buying and replanting if we took this one out. Here's a huge, wonderful viney configuration of some sort of limb here. See it making big circles and then going up here. Not prepared to say what that is at the moment. The roots come off of that tree way over there, which, again, I can't identify, but you can see it's growing square over the flow area, and means it really likes to have its feet in the water, and it's roots out here, and then coming up. Climbing. Not many folks have been out here, and this is the only time of year it's been accessible for a long time. So you can see a marvelous combination of things, and cedars, one there and one over there. They're going with their feet in the water. But despite all the water that flowed through here, including muddy water a couple of weeks ago when there was a big rain, and then in the snow and so forth, it's It's all nice and clean. It absorbed it. You can see, looking east, you can see Lauren's work area with the band of orange plastic up there. Just looking from here. And more view of the central flow area from ground level. Here's another cedar. It's an interesting little twisty cedar. Again, with all the vines, these have been twisted and changed as they grew. That gives them a great deal of their beauty. Something that one growing, standing in the open would not possess. Let's see if we can move forward. Through here. Duck down. Old folks not happy about having a duck down. So let's go. It's on this grapevine right now. See how the ground rises over there. And this is spot. Unfortunately, it's not but 25 feet to where there's been some chopping going on. So what we'd like to do is protect this thicket in here. Sure, return it to native species. Get rid of some honeysuckle and other things, but protect it because it's a place that birds and other wildlife have some privacy. It's the kind of place hunters only send their dogs when they're out hunting in the country, looking for quail. But it's a wonderful private thicket. Very best habitat for some species you can imagine. Here's a cedar growing out from under the roots of another tree. And while the other tree may not be a native species, the cedar, by the way, is. Ones that grow here wild everywhere. It's part of the Ozarks. It's a very valuable and beautiful little spot. Beautiful little spot. Unique, natural spot. Hasn't been brush hogged in several years. Thank goodness. Try to protect it if we can. Got out here a little late for roosting time on World Peace Wetford Prairie. You can't see some of the activity. Birds trying to find good spots they like. Now, that's mostly the willows there, over the center flow area. Over on this side, to the south, you got more. These guys going to the habitat tree, which is the split tree further down. Birds are going there. A lot of birds came through our yard a little while ago, and I walked out there without the camera on, not ready, and they all took off. Therefore, we thought we'd come out here and see if anybody's in later. Of course, they come and go with the disturbances, so photographers got to be hidden to get an honest idea of what many birds planning to roost here, and you got to come before sunset, get set up, and then be ready to run the camera final hour before dark. Otherwise, you miss a lot of action. Things we know we've seen here, robins and cedar waxwings. There they go, moving. Lots of birds flying around high. Thought these birds were all settled in, but one took off. You can see one sort of at the top of the screen. It's been there for a few minutes, not moving. Some of them hold their ground when they find a place. Aren't as affected by disturbances. But the lower vegetation inside the cedars and areas where there are various sorts of shrubbery also get a lot that you can't see. Once they get in there, they don't move unless you walk it. That's our yard we're looking at. You can see the oak tree and all the taller trees right through there are in our yard. Just saw a bird dive down into the thicket. So we get a lot of roosting birds about 7 or 8 feet in the China honeysuckle. They're safe enough for me. I'm not too worried about it till I walk under there late at night, middle of the night, and make noise when I take the dogs out, and then they shuffle around to some other places. But let's go back over here. We've got some new ones coming into the willow out there. tree out to the right, a couple of trees to the right of the willow have several birds. Probably hard to see them on this film, but a lot of high-flying birds, and I'm not going to zoom up to try to capture the high-flying birds. But now you see a burst left here, some others diving in various places. I'm not sure how much use those pines get over there on the Pinnacle Prairie, just outside this property, but some I'm sure like pines. But you know, these cedars in the periphery and some in the center section of WPWP, such as down in there, some nice cedars, and they get some bird action. Birds that don't want to be out in those exposed hardwood limbs. So many birds of so many kinds flying over. Some of them right down over our heads here. Come and go, come and go. They're flown out now. We don't know where the next bunch is going to land when they light when they come in. What trees they'll pick. Up with the railroad trestles even better than this. Between here and there used to be a tremendous amount of roosting area, but those trees have all been removed, so you get almost up to the trestle, you don't have much. Got a new batch in the willow there. All of them left. A new one came in. Okay, now they're taking off again. Some coming across. She'll stop a lot more. Yeah, I'm sure. I don't really like me being out here. camoed instead of wearing a red hat, jacket with a yellow stripe on it, that kind of thing. And sit down low and let the camera do its work. I don't have time to stay long. It's gonna get dark. That's our backyard tree. A bunch of birds just flew in, but they mostly went low, below the picture level. We gotta walk on up a little closer because they're still coming. All those came right out of bushes next to me. They're roosting in these bushes right here. And unfortunately, those bushes a week from now will probably be like the ones in front of us. They'll be down. So when the crew comes back on Saturday, take out honeysuckle vines, they'll take out trees and all. So the roosting's going to be scarce. You can see how they're going in here. It's right over our chicken house there. Chicken house is right in there. Just coming in like crazy. Robins going into the honeysuckle vines around the trees. We want to get rid of the honeysuckle vines. We want to leave them the trees. That way it'll be at least half as good for roosting. Right now, it's spectacular as it is for roosting. It's just phenomenal. Prefer I not be out here. Bush is shaking with birds. coming in from all directions. Some are lighting pretty close to me. A lot of them are going to the central area, down into the bushes that are there. Many of these birds last year when they came down found the same situation, but year before, well, last year they had a lot more roosting sites out here at this time. All this has been cleared, nearly a half acre to my left, what's around me, and that's cut it down. But the year before that, there was still a massive amount of vegetation to the north. Close to 30 acres have been cleared, so it's looking pretty sad for the future. I can monitor these buck bushes. It still has fruit. When will that fruit darken up and be used? That's the question. Well, some of this looks a little darker to me, but then it's dark in the evening, so hard to tell. Up in the habitat tree, nobody's there because I'm under it. Yeah. We know a lot of these guys went into the low bushes nearby. Probably gonna spook some birds out of this stretch over here. Something got up. Majority probably settling somewhere right now. Maybe some more flying, but those that haven't been chased up from their initial stop, they still be in there. That's fine. It could be somewhere here. I don't know if anybody's walked through here. That's a little while. Central flow area, and that stretch up there, central flow area is still protected by vegetation, not so much here. Flush anybody out of these trees in here, so just trying to find sucker bushes. They're in there, you can hear them, but the thickest places they don't spook easily. One just small bird of some kind flicked into the thicket there. It's 5:15 on December 10th, 2006. 5:15. December 10th, 2006. Sunday afternoon. Only 2 per week I get to spend on World Peace Wetland Prairie. Unless I take vacation. This time of night I'm in the heat of the copy reading activity at the morning news. Have been for the last 13 years. 13 and a half now. World Peace Wetland Prairie. A sanctuary for human beings and other living things in the upper White River Basin. A tributary of the town branch of the West Fork of the White River. Who's that? Big old pop tree. Squirrel here, squirrel there, squirrel everywhere. Oh, maybe it was a wood thrush. Well, there's another one. There they go. We're gonna haul some goats, maybe. There they come. Well, this is the thing we dreaded the most. The serious red dirt's being hauled in. Hey, how you doing? didn't want to see on this land. Contrast between the organic soil, inorganic soil. The red stuff is primarily rock and kind of really red food. And the tan and brown and almost black topsoil you see over here. This cut bank. It's pretty drastic difference. And that hard soil stabilizes the street, but build it back up and pave the street, and it will be forever lifeless. That's the bad news. No connection to the underground water. And there's a little inspector, black and white cat. He's lived here since before we have. It's now approaching 10 years. And he doesn't really approve of lifeless paved areas. But there you see the mix of good and bad soil. The people and animals, this kind of soil, the dark topsoil, is the life-giving soil. To engineers and construction folks, that red dirt helps them make a profit, helps them build a road. Yeah. Fast autos travel on a smooth road, but it's not something nature requires for their health. Like the opposite. We'll be hearing those booms all day. Those trucks dump their load.